Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome to Divine Empowerment. My name is Joanne, and I'm super, super excited. You're definitely going to feel this reading and clearing work. Now, I will be going over a lot of information. So, oh my goodness, you just emailed me. All right. So, we'll be reading a lot of this just because I don't like to leave anything out. Now, the first thing that we're going to be going over and discussing is your soul profile. Now, the primary energy of your soul is female, so divine feminine. If you're on a twin flame journey or if you're on a kundalini awakening experience, that's the perspective that you're coming from. Now, you have already received or already completed your manifestation blueprint activation, your divine soul blueprint activation, as well as your upper chakra 9 through 12 and your earth chakra activation. Now, those come in a PDF format. The first two have videos that you can watch, and then the last one, it has instructions specifically in the PDF. Well, they all have instructions within the PDF, so just read through those and follow the instructions. All right, now the next thing that we're going to be discussing is your primary gift. Now, this is the gift that makes up the largest portion of your divine soul blueprint. But with that activation, you will come into alignment with your divine self-expression, and it makes you equally powerful in all the gifts, but you still have your primary gift, okay? Now, also, too, it prevents you from engaging in the negative polarity of the energy centers as well as the dysfunctional aspects. Now, your primary gift is also the same as mine. Yay! And it is the 7th energy center, divine power. This is the energy center of divine power, which we access through free will and choice. This energy center is about doing and being whatever we want without limitation. Having freedom of choice is incredibly important to them, and a sense of freedom is one of their most important values. They are highly energetically sensitive and have an innate understanding of energy. They may be very intuitive or psychic, but can also be introverted because being around people and their noisy energy all day is exhausting. And definitely as divine power primaries, you are extremely empathic, and so you will definitely feel that being around people before, especially in large crowds, may have felt draining. But that by coming into alignment and expressing your divine gifts as your divine self-expression, you'll find that that's going to shift very, very quickly. All right. They manifest extremely quickly and powerfully. This means that when aligned, they create results very quickly. However, when they are in misalignment, they also very powerfully manifest a whole bunch of nothing. Been there, done that. They must learn to take the immediate feedback they receive from their results. Things will not get better eventually. They are highly independent and strong-willed. They hate being stuck in situations where they feel they have no choice. They take action more easily than most because they understand that only choice creates new experience, new results. They can get stuck in being busy rather than productive. They embrace change more readily than most people and can become the driving force behind the change and create what they want consciously. They love tools and learning how to use them because each tool represents new possibilities and new choices being available to them. Because they have such a strong desire for self-determination, they do not enjoy being children and not being able to make their own choices. Money is highly important to them because it allows them freedom of choice. They often find success in leadership positions. They have a lot of energy, and their strong will often makes them charismatic and attractive to others. They are willing to stick their necks out and go first. Seventh energy center souls are not risk averse. They are often more willing to fail than most because they realize they are always empowered to correct their mistakes down the road. This means they often do best as entrepreneurs. This also gives them more opportunity to live as they choose. The negative polarity of this energy center is obligation. Whenever these souls feel like they have to or should, and they don't have freedom of choice, they must address or eliminate those situations and relationships. Instead of eliminating obligation, they may actually take on more responsibility so that they can do things their own way. They are high energy people who can take on a lot, including responsibilities that aren't even their own. If they continue to tolerate obligation, they will become resentful over their lack of freedom and independence. When they are accountable to too many other people, they will find themselves frustrated with the pace of others who don't take action fast enough for them. They will be resentful of people taking up their time, which is another form of freedom. Their gift of energetic sensitivity will feel like a burden and cause them to become reclusive. If they become overloaded enough, they will engage with the dysfunctional aspect of this energy center, which is possibility paralysis. Rather than making more choices and putting still more responsibilities and obligations on their plates, they will get stuck in endlessly exploring possibilities. They will explore new tools, new knowledge, etc., for the sake of creating more and more possibilities in their lives without actually moving forward into any of them. They will get stuck in indecision, but their form of indecision can look very busy. They can even rationalize why they need yet another piece of software or tool or training before they can finally move forward. Meanwhile, they are actually just spinning their wheels and not creating any new results. So definitely, I always recommend those activations because it brings you into alignment so you're not engaging in those negative polarities or dysfunctional aspects. All right, now the next thing that we're going to be going over is your soul group. Now, we are actually from the same soul group as well, from Mintaka. Mintaka is located in the constellation of Orion, and most Mintakans will recognize this constellation and constantly look at it in the night sky. Mintaka was a water world and a somewhat utopian civilization where no one made conscious negative choices. Mintakans have a very hard time with the amount of willful negativity on our planet. They do not understand choices to go to war, to hurt others, or to lie or be mean. Their great gift is to see only the positive potential in others, and this makes others feel extremely good about themselves. Mintakans often have rose-colored glasses on. They focus on the positive side of life. The glass is always half full, and every cloud has a silver lining. They are often completely blindsided by other people's choices for negativity. They simply don't understand these choices. Mintakans do not have the capacity to make conscious negative choices. If they know it's wrong, they can't do it. Mintakans tend to invest themselves heavily in other people's potential. They usually are everyone's cheerleader and the person others turn to when they need to feel good about themselves. Mintakans need to develop greater discernment between someone's potential and the truth of who they actually are, as evidenced by their choices and current consequences. Mintakans have a tendency to take on people as projects. This is especially true of Mintakans in romantic relationships. They tend to pick partners based on who that person wants to become rather than who they are. Mintakans tend to overestimate others. Most people actually never step into their potential. They just enjoy being in the energy of someone who upholds it for them. Mintakans can end up highly disillusioned and disappointed by others. They give people 4, 5, or 6 chances, even when they are being heavily taken advantage of, because they don't expect negative choices from others. They must focus on embracing their own potential and actually leverage their ability to uplift others and bring out the best in them in a way that serves the Mintakan rather than exhaust them. Mintakans have an odd relationship with water. They will love being around it and in it. But some Mintakans don't like dark water, such as the ocean or a lake. On their homeworld, sun filtered through to the bottom of the ocean. Water is a very healing element for Mintakans, although being near it often fulfills that purpose. Because their homeworld is no longer inhabitable, Mintakans often feel a strange, sad longing for home. They love working from home and tend to be nesters. Awesome. All right. Now the next thing that we're going to go over is your current soul vibration rate. And what this means, this is where your higher self is currently vibrating. Now every time you receive Akashic reading and clearing work, your higher self will shift vibrationally, and you will also shift at the physical level. So you will definitely feel this work. Now currently your higher self is vibrating at a 4.9. So you're right on the edge of the 4th dimension. Now with this reading and clearing work, your higher self will shift into the 5th dimension. And every time your higher self shifts into a new dimension, you will gain new levels of awareness, new levels of consciousness, and new aspects of yourself to have the human experience with. And I was actually at the same place when I started this work. I was right there on the edge of the 4th dimension. I crossed into the 5th dimension, and I'm not kidding, it felt amazing. Definitely. So yes, you will definitely feel amazing. And also too, you'll be receiving some healing on your God spark, which is around this area. And you'll almost feel like, for me it felt like cotton candy, like I could feel the healing in that space. Now, also too, you will be receiving spears of protection that will be placed about your energy bodies. And that also tends to feel like, you know, this really like tingly lightness around you. Now the next thing that we're going to be discussing is what's called white lights. Every time you say a prayer, you set intentions, you set goals for yourself, you attract what's called white lights. Those would be like radio tower waves. Hello universe, I want a new car or a new home. It goes out over the white lights and then into the universe to be manifested. Now, once you attract 30, which you have, yay, awesome, you then start attracting what's called blue lights. Those would be like satellites in space. It goes out over the white lights, and then it's amplified into each blue light after that. Now you currently have 2 blue lights. So awesome. So you already basically have the network set up for manifestation. So you want to be very clear with your intentions, and you also want to make sure that you include the emotions that you want to experience because of those manifestations. And you do have 5 spirit guides, and they're all positive, so awesome. And I do offer spirit guide coaching. You can get the full profile. It goes through all your spirit guides. It includes their names, all the information that I've just given you, as well as what they look like, and then channel messages from each spirit guide. All right, now that is the soul profile, and I know it's a lot of information, so please feel free to watch this video as many times as you desire. All right, so the next portion that we're going to be getting into is the actual soul realignment, the actual clearing work. Now, these readings and these clearings are based on intention. So whatever intentions you have currently, those are the blocks that come up ready to be cleared. Now, in level 1, those are the least densest blocks, and they're held at the 5th dimension in the Akashic records. And they're always past life situations. Now, moving forward, you'll get into level 2 blocks, which are held at the 4th dimension at the level of mind. Those are denser than level 1. And then, of course, there's level 3 blocks, which are held in the 3rd dimension at the level of physical. Those are the densest blocks. Now, those readings are a little, they're kind of boring because we literally go over the blocks and the energies, and that's pretty much it. But you will feel that clearing work more intensely. Now, as you go along, you may have more level 1 blocks. You may have level 2 and 3 blocks, or you may just have 3 blocks or level 2 blocks. We can only clear what you can comfortably shift at the physical level. So, and you'll definitely feel when you need more reading and clearing work. Now, those follow-up sessions are based on time between sessions, so just send me an email and I'll send you a quote. All right. Now, I do have a YouTube video that goes over all the blocks in level 1, but I don't do that in these sessions simply because it would take way too long and it's way too boring. I do go over the energies behind the densest blocks in level 1, and then of course we go over the story, what happened in that past life. Now, there is one specific block that I do want to mention here. No, there's 2. Definite. There's 2 blocks here. There is a negative program that is running at your 6th chakra, your 3rd eye, and it's running the negative program of doubt. So you may have doubted your connection. You may have doubted your intuition. So we definitely want to clear that. Now, also, too, there is an earthbound spirit that's attached to you at this time. And it is a great-grandmother. Now, spirits, earthbound spirits, can live on your vital life force energy. Now, you have to remember, it does not serve you, and it does not serve them. You can still maintain a connection, but it's time for her soul to move on, right, into the afterlife space, so that she can review her life lessons and make plans for future incarnations. Now, these are the energies behind the densest blocks that we cleared. Pain, doubt, dependence, chaos, anxiety, loss, obstruction, suffering, self-criticism, and judgment. All right. And yes, your story was very, very interesting. I almost felt like I was writing a book by the time I got to the end of it. But it actually occurred 450 lifetimes ago. And that's lifetimes. That's not years. So this was a long, long time ago. In this particular lifetime, you were born in Russia to the king and queen of Russia. You had a very princess-like lifestyle, and you were very beautiful. You had the best of the best teachers, the best clothes, and you rode horses daily. Your family were gregarious for the royalty of that time, meaning they loved to socialize. They threw huge fancy parties constantly, and they were actually even very generous and would feed the poor. When you grew up, when you were growing up, you were actually engaged or promised to a prince from Sweden. However, you fell in love with one of your servants who actually took care of your horses. You would go on long rides together, and you would recite poetry to him. He was your first kiss, your first everything. You tried to convince him to run away with you, but he feared execution, of course, if y'all were caught. And as the wedding plan started to unfold, right? Your parents were making preparation, and you were going to be married soon. You grew depressed, and as your arranged nuptials were quickly approaching, you refused to eat or leave your boudoir. Yes, your higher self tends to use these big words. You had two older brothers whom you barely knew because they were sent away to live and study at other various estates. For all practical reasons, you felt like an only child, and your father doted on you. You were his pride and joy. He spared no expense for your wedding. Now, the day of your wedding came. That morning, you got up, distraught, depressed. You went riding alone. It had been 6 months since you last rode with your lover. He wasn't in the stable, and it had started to snow, so it was just coming out of fall into winter. The snow was new and fresh, and you rode anyways. It was kind of a dangerous time to ride because the waters were just starting to freeze. Everything was slippery, kind of muddy, but you rode anyways. It was just starting to turn winter again. You ran your horse so fast, as fast as possible, even though it was very, very slippery. Your horse fell into the ravine or the river, which was newly frozen, and you hit your head, and you died instantly. So yes, these blocks are created through extreme tragedy or drama or trauma, which all of that has been cleared now. So you won't be feeling those feelings, but you will feel lighter, brighter, happier, more joyful. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to email me. Blessings into infinity. Namaste.